Let's get this qualifying session underway here at Red Bull Ring GP.
The pressure is on to set the fastest lap times. Will it push these drivers to focus or to failure?
You can feel the tension building. Reece Simon is out on track and getting ready to push for their qualifying time.
Patience is key in these early moments, Lucy. But I have a feeling Reece Simon is going to make it count.
Reece Simon appears focused and prepared driving through Remus. This is where the mental game comes into play. Sean Olivier is taking their time to prepare for their qualifying run.
It's a delicate balance between taking it easy and pushing hard. Let's see how Sean Olivier handles it.
Sean Olivier is looking relatively composed going through Pirelli.
There's not much better than sitting near here and watching the cars speed by.
Peach Jones is on their out lap.
They will want to get a good gap established for their first flying lap.
Peach Jones is driving through Rint.
There's a spot near here open for the spectators.
It looks like Sean Olivier is getting ready to make their move. They're taking their time to warm up those tires and get everything just right.
It's all about finding that balance between staying calm and focused, while also pushing the limits.
Sean Olivier appears focused and prepared driving through Remus.
Spectators near here can smell the smoke wafting from nearby grills.
It's all about strategy in these early moments. Drian Griesel is taking their time to prepare for their qualifying run and get everything just right. Drian Griesel is looking relatively composed going through Pirelli. The adrenaline is pumping. Joni Geldenhuys is on their out lap, warming up the tires and getting ready to put in a fast lap time.
These are the moments that really matter. Let's see if Joni Geldenhuys can deliver.
Joni Geldenhuys is driving through while 1/4 RTH. You can feel the tension building. Elliot Hancock is out on track and getting ready to push for their qualifying time. Elliot Hancock appears focused and prepared driving through Rint. It's clear that Drian Griesel is pushing Thiercar to the very edge of traction on this qualifying lap. Drian Griesel is driving through Pirelli and is up -0.41.
Drian Griesel needs all the focus and resolve they can muster to maintain this pace.
There are just over 10 minutes left in this qualification session. Peach Jones is not able to keep their pace consistent. So far they are 0.8 seconds down. It seems like Peach Jones is struggling. Currently 1.25 off their best pace.
Peach Jones needs to refocus and start putting in the lap times we know they're capable of.
Reece Simon is looking for ways to improve their consistency.
They'll need to put together a perfect lap. hitting every apex and pushing the car to the limit without going over it.
Reese Simon is looking relatively composed going through Remus. Orital Matswagozel is trying to find that extra performance. Orital Matswagozel is not able to keep their pace consistent. So far they are 0.18 seconds down.
Oratile Motswagasele is likely taking a deep breath to try and refocus their efforts.
Orital Matswagozel is driving through Rint. Peter Geldenhuys is looking for ways to improve their consistency. It seems like Peter Geldenhuys is struggling, currently 0.19 off their best pace.
Peter Geldenhuys needs to refocus and start putting in the lap times we know they're capable of.
Sean Olivier is trying to find that extra performance.
Good question, Lucy. It's all or nothing now. They need to stay focused, hit their marks, and extract every ounce of performance from that car to move up the grid.
Sean Olivier appears focused and prepared driving through Rint.
I have always loved this section of the track.
Joni Geldenhuys has improved by -0.24 up through Pirelli.
All we can do now is wish Johnny Geldenhuys luck as they continue their way to start, finish.
This is where the mental game comes into play. Foxy Cute is taking their time to prepare for their qualifying run. Foxy Cute is looking relatively composed going through Roch.
There's not much better than sitting near here and watching the cars speed by.
Ronnie Jonker is on their out lap. Ronnie Jonker has some work to do as that 154.349 is only good enough for 7th.
There's still more time to be had, but I don't know if they're going to find it before the session is over.
Ronnie Jonker is now up -0.1 in Remus.
There's no guarantee that Ronnie Jonker can maintain this delta through the rest of the lap.
Joni Geldenhuys is looking for ways to improve their consistency.
Well, Lucy, they'll need to find those extra tenths of a second by pushing just a little bit harder on the braking and carrying more speed through the corners.
Joni Geldenhuys is driving through while 1/4 RTH.
There's a spot near here open for the spectators.
There are just over 5 minutes left in this qualification session. Drian Griesel is not able to keep their pace consistent. So far they are 0.2 seconds down. WJ Weepener is up -0.11.
Well, Lucy, it seems like WJ Weepener has got the need for speed and nothing is going to stop them now.
WJ Weepener is driving through Remus and is up minus 0.17. Orital Motswagozel is up minus 0.14.
Looks like Orotile Motswagasele is really cooking with gas out there today.
Orital Motswagozel has improved by minus 0.15 up through Pirelli. Peach Jones is trying to find that extra performance.
Every driver needs something different, Lucy. Some drivers excel when they push harder, while other drivers benefit more from relaxing and being in a flow state.
Peach Jones appears focused and prepared driving through Rint. WJ Weepener is looking for ways to improve their consistency.
Good question, Lucy. It's all or nothing now. They need to stay focused, hit their marks, and extract every ounce of performance from that car to move up the grid.
WJ Weepener is looking relatively composed going through Remus. Reese Simon is trying to find that extra performance.
Well, Lucy, they'll need to find those extra tenths of a second by pushing just a little bit harder on the braking and carrying more speed through the corners.
Reese Simon is driving through Remus.
Spectators near here can smell the smoke wafting from nearby grills.
Orital Motswagozel is looking for ways to improve their consistency. Orital Motswagozel will be happy having put themselves into third in this qualifying session.
It may be difficult for them to improve further on that. Sometimes trying too hard makes you slower. They need to drive smooth and smart.
Peter Geldenhuys is trying to find that extra performance.
Every driver needs something different, Lucy. Some drivers excel when they push harder, while other drivers benefit more from relaxing and being in a flow state.
Peter Geldenhuys appears focused and prepared driving through Pirelli.
I have always loved this section of the track.
Ronnie Jonker is up minus 0.48.
It's amazing what a little bit of adrenaline and a lot of horsepower can do. Ronnie Jonker is just showing us all what they're made of.
Ronnie Jonker is looking relatively composed going through Rock. A tough qualifying session for Dennis Byrne. They're currently mired in 12th position, which is a setback for their ambitions. However, they have the resilience and determination to learn from their mistakes and fight back in the race.
Absolutely, Lucy. Dennis Byrne is facing a challenging situation, but they have the skill and determination to turn things around. It's not over until the checkered flag, and they still have a chance to improve their result.
Currently in 7th, Ronnie Jonker has displayed promising speed during the qualifying session. The real test lies in whether they can convert this performance into a higher grid position.
I completely agree, Lucy. Ronnie Jonker has positioned themselves impressively in 7th. However, it's crucial for them to keep pushing to potentially improve their starting position.
And there goes Sean Olivier, currently in position. Sean Olivier will be happy having put themselves into first in this qualifying session. A solid qualifying performance by WJ Weepener, positioning them in 6th at the moment. The question now is whether they can make further progress and challenge the frontrunners. WJ Weepener is driving through Roch. Orital Motswagozel has secured a respectable third in the qualifying session. This is a great spot to use as a launch. Orital Motswagozel will be happy having put themselves into first in this qualifying session.
Every fraction of a second counts. I'm sure they can find a little extra in there.
A challenging session for Foxy Cute so far. They're currently in 11th position, which is not where they wanted to be. But in motorsport, we've seen remarkable comebacks, and they'll be hoping to turn their fortunes around and secure a better result.
I share your thoughts, Lucy. Foxy Cute is facing a setback in this qualifying session, but they have the resilience to bounce back. They need to stay positive, work closely with their engineers, and find the optimal strategy to make progress.
It's been a challenging session for Dennis Byrne. They're currently languishing in 12th position, which is not where they had envisioned themselves. But in motorsport, anything can happen, and with their skill and determination, they might still turn things around.
Well said, Lucy. It's certainly not the result Dennis Byrne was aiming for, but this is motorsport, and anything can happen. They'll need to stay focused, trust in their abilities, and seize any chance that comes their way to improve their position.
Dennis Byrne has some work to do, as that 142.312 is only good enough for 12th. You've joined us on a breezy day here at Red Bull Ring GP, as we're getting ready to kick things off. Sean Olivier will look to make a splash from the second position on the starting grid. The third position belongs to Joni Geldenhuys. Peter Geldenhuys will begin the race from the 4th spot on the starting grid.
Peter Geldenhuys will be expecting to bring home solid points.
On the 5th grid slot we have WJ Weepener.
It's like they're on the outside looking in, close enough to see the front without actually being there.
Lining up in 6th is Drian Griesel. The moment we've been waiting for has arrived. The green flag is waving and the race is on.
With adrenaline running high, some drivers may take unnecessary risks. Staying patient and knowing when to make a move is essential for a strong start.
Is there a better sight than a field of elite racing drivers battling for position?
It's always intense racing here at Red Bull Ring GP. Hold on to your hats, folks.
Elliot Hancock must have taken a page out of a superhero's book, because they've just shot off like the Flash.
Now, they just need to maintain that speed and focus.
All the drivers will be trying to take advantage of the pack whilst they're still bunched up. It's like Peach Jones had a pair of wings tucked away, because they've soared up the leaderboard in the blink of an eye. Things are heating up as WJ Weepener tries to close the gap to Reese Simon. It's a steady race for WJ Weepener so far. They haven't made any mistakes, and they are maintaining their focus.
Sometimes that's all it takes to secure a good result. WJ Weepener just needs to stay focused and avoid any mistakes.
Peach Jones wants to get into WJ Weepener's slipstream.
There is no room for error in this battle.
An impressive showing from Peach Jones, who has gained positions and left WJ Weepener in the dust. A tough moment for Peach Jones, who has just lost a place, dumping them down to 8th.
Yes, but they can't give up. There's still plenty of time left in this race, and Peach Jones needs to stay focused and keep pushing.
Look at that, Joni Geldenhuys is hot on the tail of Peter Geldenhuys. There's not much to report on from Joni Geldenhuys at the moment. They're just keeping their head down and putting in consistent laps. Hold on to your hats, folks. WJ Weepener is right on the heels of Reese Simon, and we're in for a wild ride.
If WJ Weepener gets any closer to Reese Simon, they'll need to start sending out wedding invitations.
Joni Geldenhuys is pushing really hard, but as we know, pushing too hard can lead to other mistakes, like locking up the brakes or missing a shift. These drivers are walking a razor's edge between pushing the limits and making costly. The moment we've been waiting for has arrived. The green flag is waving and the race is on.
With adrenaline running high, some drivers may take unnecessary risks. Staying patient and knowing when to make a move is essential for a strong start.
This is what high-octane racing looks like. Ronnie Jonker is breathing down the neck of WJ Weepener, not giving them any room to relax. And Ronnie Jonker has just won the place from WJ Weepener. The action is non-stop as WJ Weepener shadows Ronnie Jonker through every twist and turn, determined to claim 6th. Big gains for WJ Weepener as they move up the field, leaving Ronnie Jonker behind. Oh dear, WJ Weepener has dropped down to 7. The pursuit is on. Oriental Motswagozel is closing the gap on Sean Olivier, determined to claim P1. WJ Weepener is on a mission, chasing Ronnie Jonker, who's desperately trying to stay ahead.
This is not going to be an easy pass to make.
The delta between Joni Geldenhuys in 9th and Peach Jones remains over a second, but Joni Geldenhuys is not letting up. They're pushing hard and looking for any opportunity to close that gap. There's 39 minutes left in this session to make that happen.
Indeed, the anticipation is high as Joni Geldenhuys tries to reel in Peach Jones.
The moment we've been waiting for has arrived. The green flag is waving and the race is on.
With adrenaline running high, some drivers may take unnecessary risks. Staying patient and knowing when to make a move is essential for a strong start.
This is a thrilling battle as WJ Weepener edges closer to Ronnie Jonker in their fight for P6.
The gap is 0.3 seconds now. WJ Weepener is going to have to work a bit harder to close that gap with Ronnie Jonker.
The gap between Peter Geldenhuys and Peach Jones is razor thin as they vie for 9th in this nail-biting contest. What a move! Peter Geldenhuys has moved up to 9th. Huge shout out to the admins at SimSpeed Motorsports for making this all possible. Without their hard work and dedication, we wouldn't be able to witness this incredible event.
That's right, Lucy, and the excitement is electric. I can feel it in my circuits. I mean, this is the kind of race that people will be talking about in the bar. We're witnessing history in the making.
Looks like we might have a great battle starting here between Ronnie Jonker in 6th and WJ Weepener. It's been tense with a gap of only 0.3 seconds.
Yeah, it's going to be tough for WJ Weepener to make up that gap, especially with Ronnie Jonker defending so well.
WJ Weepener could be looking for a way up the inside of Ronnie Jonker. This is where the skill and experience of the drivers really come into play. Joni Geldenhuys will need to stay focused and keep pushing, even when the gap seems insurmountable. It's not over until the checkered flag drops.
That's right, Joni Geldenhuys in 8th knows they have to push to the limit if they want to catch up. But WJ Weepener is no slouch, and they're going to be pushing just as hard. It's a battle of skill and will out there.
WJ Weepener needs to find some speed, or maybe get more consistent. John, they have just put in a slower lap than Joni Geldenhuys. Joni Geldenhuys wants to close that gap with WJ Weepener. That won't be ideal for Peter Geldenhuys. Every move counts now as Foxy Cute works to reel in Peter Geldenhuys and overtake for P10. The pressure is on for Ronnie Jonker as they try to catch up to Rhys Simon.
We'll have to wait to see if Ronnie Jonker can use the draft to their advantage, or if the lack of downforce will hinder their progress.
Wow, Joni Geldenhuys is really pushing hard to catch up to WJ Weepener. There's blood in the water for 7th place. It's like watching two predators circling each other, waiting for the perfect moment to pounce.
Ronnie Jonker is so close to Rhys Simon that if this were a dance floor, they'd be doing the tango.
It's looking good for Ronnie Jonker, who has gained places and put some distance between themselves and Reece Simon.
Absolutely, Ronnie Jonker is showing great pace and determination, but they can't get too confident. There is still plenty of challenges ahead.
Heartbreak for Ronnie Jonker as they slip down the field. This is getting exciting. WJ Weepener is looking for any gap that might open up the position.
WJ Weaponer is certainly pushing all they can, but the gap might just be too much. Unless Ronnie Jonker makes a mistake, it looks like they'll hold on to 6th.
This is what it's all about, folks. Joni Geldenhuys is in hot pursuit of WJ Weepener, who's just trying to stay ahead.
That's right, Johnny Geldenhuys is determined to pass WJ Weaponer and secure a higher position.
It's a thrilling pursuit as WJ Weepener is right behind Joni Geldenhuys, keeping the pressure on for 6th place. It's a tale of two drivers right now, with WJ Weepener gaining places and Joni Geldenhuys losing them. Disappointing for WJ Weepener, they now find themselves in 7th. It's a game of cat and mouse out there, with Peter Geldenhuys trying to find the perfect opportunity to make a move on Reece Simon. The gap is over a second, but every fraction counts.
Absolutely, Peter Geldenhuys in 10th will need to be patient and carefully work to reduce that gap without overdriving it, as they can't afford to take unnecessary risks and risk an off or damaging their car. Let's see if they have what it takes to get back into the game here.
This is where the race gets really interesting. WJ Weepener is closing in on Joni Geldenhuys.
The mental game is just as important here. WJ Weaponer must keep their cool while putting pressure on Johnny Geldenhuys.
It's a close race between Peter Geldenhuys and Reece Simon in 9th.
This battle between Peter Geldenhuys and Reece Simon is so intense, you could cut the tension with a knife, or should I say, with a front wing.
An impressive showing from Peter Geldenhuys, who has gained positions and left Reece Simon in the dust. You know, John, it's been a relatively quiet race so far.
That's right, Lucy. The drivers seem to be pacing themselves and waiting for the right moment to make their move. It's like watching a slow dance.
The race is heating up as Joni Geldenhuys in 6th closes in on Ronnie Jonker. The gap is just over a second, and I'm sure they are going to do everything possible to try and close the distance. They're not giving up without a fight.
It's a nail-biting race for sure, with both drivers showing incredible skill and determination. But Ronnie Jonker is not going to give up the position easily. This is going to be a battle to the very end, with Johnny Geldenhuys in P6 doing everything they can to catch up.
Orital Matswagozel has the pedal to the metal chasing Sean Olivier.
They need to keep it on the road, or at the very least the rumble strips. The fastest way around is not usually in the grass. As the saying goes, too much weed will slow you down.
Rising to the occasion and claiming victory would help to cement this driver's legendary status. The battle for 8 is heating up as Peter Geldenhuys tries to catch Peach Jones in P8. Pushing too hard can lead to mistakes, and we're seeing that now. That car is really unsettled as they push for every last bit of speed.
One important aspect here is choosing the right braking points. Orital Motswagasele needs to be precise to avoid overshooting and losing valuable time.
It's a battle out there, each driver trying to outsmart and outmaneuver the other.
Can they close up enough for a pass? I don't see it personally.
This is where the skill and precision of the drivers really comes into play. Orital Matswagozel is chasing Sean Olivier in P1.
You can see that car bouncing around as they ride the curbs. It's a risky move that could end in disaster.
Oh, this is getting intense. Peter Geldenhuys is just behind Peach Jones.
It's a battle for position as Peter Geldenhuys tries to make a move on Peach Jones. This is what racing is all about.
Oh, this is getting intense. Oradil Motswagozel is just a few car lengths behind Sean Olivier.
I would not be surprised if they get this pass completed soon.
Looks like Peter Geldenhuys is really pushing it to the limit. They're taking those curbs aggressively, but that can unsettle the car and cause handling issues.
Indeed, taking too much curb can upset the car's balance, leading to oversteer or understeer. It's all about maintaining that fine line between speed and control.
The race is really heating up. Oradil Motswagozel is hunting down Sean Olivier with everything they've got. Braking development. Peter Geldenhuys has decided to pit. Oradil Motswagozel is running second. They are trying to catch Sean Olivier. Oradil Motswagozel is pushing hard and has reduced the gap to Sean Olivier to 0.3 seconds. WJ Weepener has a mountain to climb at the moment to close that gap with Ronnie Jonker. I expect their only hope at this point is that Ronnie Jonker makes an error. The pursuit is on. Oradil Motswagozel is closing the gap on Sean Olivier, determined to claim P1.
It's a game of strategy now as Oradil Motswagozel hunts down Sean Olivier. Yes, it's all about choosing the right moments to push and when to conserve energy, waiting for the perfect opportunity to strike.
Braking development. Peter Geldenhuys has decided to pit. Peter Geldenhuys is placed 10th at the moment.
Definitely Lucy, but they can't afford to get complacent. They have to keep pushing hard to stay in the game.
Look at that, Oradil Motswagozel is hot on the tail of Sean Olivier.
With just 0.3 seconds between them, Oradil Motswagozel will need to close the gap to have hopes of a pass.
Wait, Ronnie Jonker has pulled into the pits. Oradil Motswagozel is giving it their all as they chase down Sean Olivier in P1. It's a battle of wills out there, with Joni Geldenhuys trying to outsmart and outmaneuver Elliot Hancock. The gap is slowly closing, but time is running out. Situations like these often lead to a dramatic finish. It's a game of inches now as Oradil Motswagozel tails Sean Olivier closely, ready to capitalize on any mistake. Things are heating up as Elliot Hancock tries to close the gap to Joni Geldenhuys.
The gap between them is just over 0.3 seconds, which can feel like miles if you're trailing and not catching up.
Oradil Motswagozel is pushing really hard, but as we know, pushing too hard can lead to other mistakes, like locking up the brakes or missing a shift. These drivers are walking a razor's edge between pushing the limits and making costly errors.
Absolutely, it's all about finding that sweet spot where you're pushing the car to its limits without crossing the line into reckless driving. That's where experience and skill come into play. It's all about finding the perfect opportunity. Oradil Motswagozel needs to stay patient and wait for Sean Olivier to make a mistake.
Things are going according to plan for Peter Geldenhuys, who is currently 8th.
Absolutely, and they need to keep driving with determination to stay in that position.
The crowd is on its feet as Oradil Motswagozel chases down Sean Olivier through Rint.
If Oradil Motswagozel gets any closer, They might as well ask Sean Olivier for a piggyback ride.
Looking at the lap times, Orital Motswagozel is not currently on pace with Sean Olivier. Maybe they'll get a chance to see where they can improve. Looks like we've had a few incidents out there.
Someone forgot to take the driving lessons. They're making more U-turns than a confused tourist.
Hilarious. I think they might need to call their GPS for directions. Maybe it can help them navigate the track. We got a close battle as Orital Motswagozel closes in on Sean Olivier. The crowd is on the edge of their seats as Peach Jones in 10th chases after Ronnie Jonker. The delta is just over a second, and you can feel the tension in the air. Peach Jones needs to find a way to close the gap. Seems like it looks like Orital Motswagozel has been called into the pits. It looks like Orital Motswagozel is pushing hard to catch up to Sean Olivier. That's not a small gap, but Orital Motswagozel has what it takes to challenge for the position.
It's going to be tough for Orital Motswagozel, as Sean Olivier seems to have found their rhythm. But anything can happen in racing, and we've seen Orital Motswagozel pull off some impressive moves before. I'm excited to see if they can make it happen.
Hold that thought. Hold the phone. Orital Motswagozel is in the pits. The tension is building as WJ Weepener trails behind Elliott Hancock. The gap is slowly but surely decreasing, and the pressure is mounting. Elliott Hancock is pushing to maintain the lead, while WJ Weepener is working to close in and challenge for the position.
This is where experience comes into play. Elliott Hancock has been in this situation before and knows how to defend for position, but WJ Weepener is hungry for success and won't give up easily.
It's a classic case of chasing down the car ahead for Ronnie Jonker, who is currently in P9. But Reese Simon is not making it easy, and the gap remains over a second. This will require some expert driving from Ronnie Jonker. Hold that thought. Hold the phone. Sean Olivier has decided to pit. This is where the race gets really interesting. Ronnie Jonker is closing in on Reese Simon.
Ronnie Jonker needs to focus if they want to make a move and pass Reese Simon.
Hold that thought. Hold the phone. Drian Griesel is pitting. WJ Weepener appears to be trying to find a way. Breaking news, folks. WJ Weepener has pulled into the pits. This is where the skill and experience of the drivers really come into play. Ronnie Jonker will need to stay focused and keep pushing, even when the gap seems insurmountable. It's not over until the checkered flag drops.
It's moments like these that make
breaking development. It looks like Joni Geldenhuys has been called into the pits. It's an intense battle for position as Ronnie Jonker tries to outmaneuver Reese Simon. This is edge-of-your-seat racing.
A misjudgment by either driver could result in a close encounter of the tyre barrier kind, and that's one handshake they'll want to avoid.
It looks like we might get a battle between Ronnie Jonker and Reese Simon.
This is what racing is all about. Hard-fought battles with as much determination as respect, between friends and enemies alike.
It's a brilliant day for racing here at Red Bull Ring GP. I'm really enjoying this.
This race is truly epic. What a treat to be sat here witnessing this spectacle.
The delta between Ronnie Jonker in ninth and Reese Simon remains over a second, but Ronnie Jonker is not letting up. They're pushing hard and looking for any opportunity to close that gap. There's 20 minutes left in this session to make that happen.
That's right, Ronnie Jonker in ninth knows they have to push to the limit if they want to catch up. But
Wait, Sean Olivier has decided to pit. The fans are on the edge of their seats. It doesn't get any closer than this.
that's right, Lucy, the pressure can easily get the best of even seasoned drivers. The fans are on the edge of their seats, waiting to see who will come out on top in this epic showdown.
It seems like Ronnie Jonker is struggling. They are not able to maintain their pace.
Ronnie Jonker needs to refocus and start putting in the lap times we know they are capable of.
It's a battle of wills out there, with Oradil Motswagozel trying to outsmart and outmaneuver Elliot Hancock. The gap is slowly closing, but time is running out. Situations like these often lead to a dramatic finish. This is where the skill and precision of the drivers really comes into play. Reese Simon is chasing Ronnie Jonker in P8. The battle for one is heating up as Oradil Motswagozel tries to catch Elliot Hancock in P1. Great driving from Oradil Motswagozel, who has just gained a place and moved up to first. Every move counts now as Elliot Hancock works to reel in Oradil Motswagozel and overtake for P1. It's a game of cat and mouse out there, with Peter Geldenhuys trying to find the perfect opportunity to make a move on WJ Weepener. The gap is over a second, but every fraction counts. It looks like Joni Geldenhuys is pushing hard to catch up to Drian Griesel. That's not a small gap, but Joni Geldenhuys has what it takes to challenge for the position.
Absolutely, Johnny Geldenhuys in fifth will need to be patient and carefully work to reduce that gap without overdriving it, as they can't afford to take unnecessary risks and risk an off or damaging their car. Let's see if they have what it takes to get back into the game here.
Hold that thought. Hold the phone. Elliot Hancock is in the pits. Looks like Peter Geldenhuys is really pushing it to the limit. They're taking those curbs aggressively, but that can unsettle the car and cause handling issues.
Indeed, taking too much curb can upset the car's balance, leading to oversteer or understeer. It's all about maintaining that fine line between speed and control. Sometimes you have to take risks to win, but pushing the car too hard can be a costly mistake. Peter Geldenhuys needs to be careful not to overdo it.
A brilliant maneuver from Peter Geldenhuys. Braking update. Elliot Hancock is pitting. Well, it doesn't look like Peach Jones is going to be much of a threat to anyone soon, let alone Reese Simon. The pressure is on for Peter Geldenhuys as they try to catch up to Elliot Hancock.
Peter Geldenhuys is looking to close the 0.3 second gap and make a pass.
Peter Geldenhuys could be on a charge here, John. They have just put in a quicker lap than Elliot Hancock. If everything goes as planned, this is going to be a race for the ages.
The drivers are executing their strategies to perfection, making the most of every opportunity. This is what top-level racing is all about.
Peter Peter Geldenhuys seems to be putting the pressure on Elliot Hancock.
I might have said this before, but dog, bone, you know the rest.
The gap between Joni Geldenhuys and Drian Griesel is pretty substantial right now. It's probably going to take a mistake from Joni Geldenhuys to even allow Drian Griesel to get a look in. The adrenaline is pumping as Peter Geldenhuys gets within striking distance of Elliot Hancock in their race for sixth.
With the way Peter Geldenhuys is stalking Elliot Hancock, you'd think they're trying to figure out what they had for breakfast this morning.
Elliot Hancock is on a mission, chasing Peter Geldenhuys, who's desperately trying to stay ahead. It doesn't seem like things are going to plan for Peach Jones as they have a big gap ahead of them to close at this point in time.
It's not over till the checkered flag drops, though, and it's important they don't lose concentration at this point.
The race is heating up as Elliot Hancock in 7th closes in on Peter Geldenhuys. The gap is just over a second, and I'm sure they are going to do everything possible to try and close the distance. They're not giving up without a fight.
It's going to be tough for Elliot Hancock, as Peter Geldenhuys seems to have found their rhythm. But anything can happen in racing, and we've seen Elliot Hancock pull off some impressive moves before. I'm excited to see if they can make it happen again.
Things don't seem to be going Drian Griesel's way in this race, as that's a big gap they'll have to close to even be in with a shout for gaining a place here.
Every race adds to a driver's experience, both good and bad. It just highlights that Drian Griesel is going to have to get more serious with practice if they don't want to be outclassed on the circuit.
The tension is building as Dennis Byrne trails behind Foxy Cute. The gap is slowly but surely decreasing, and the pressure is mounting. Foxy Cute is pushing to maintain the lead, while Dennis Byrne is working to close in and challenge for the position.
This is where experience comes into play. Foxy Cute has been in this situation before and knows how to defend for position, but Dennis Byrne is hungry for success and won't give up easily.
It's looking good for Elliot Hancock, sitting in 7th. John Elliot Hancock has seen their lead over Ronnie Jonker shrink to 3.6 seconds.
That's a worrying sign for Elliot Hancock.
A strong showing from Foxy Cute, who is currently 11th.
Yes, but they have to keep their focus and drive with intensity. There's still a long way to go in this race.
Hold up, breaking info. Foxy Cute has pulled into the pits. Things are going according to plan for Oradil Matswagozel, who is currently first. Things are starting to get tense as Sean Olivier manages to close the gap to Oradil Matswagozel. It's now down to 7.7 seconds. WJ Weepener is placed 5th at the moment.
Definitely, but they can't get too comfortable. There are plenty of other drivers who are gunning for that position, and WJ Weaponer has to keep pushing to stay on the pace.
Excellent work from WJ Weaponer, who has managed to increase their lead over Peter Geldenhuys. They seem to have found their rhythm and they are grooving to it. Adrian Griesel has a mountain to climb at the moment to close that gap with Joni Geldenhuys. I expect their only hope at this point is that Joni Geldenhuys makes an error.
Anything can happen yet, and it usually does. I've certainly seen drivers come back from worse.
The crowd is on the edge of their seats as Sean Olivier in second chases after Orital Motswagozel. The delta is just over a second, and you can feel the tension in the air. Sean Olivier needs to find a way to close the gap.
Indeed, the anticipation is high as Sean Olivier tries to reel in Orital Motswagozel. But Orital Motswagozel is not making it easy, maintaining a consistent pace. Sean Olivier needs to find a little extra speed to bring the fight to Orital Motswagozel and move up the field.
Well, it doesn't look like Ronnie Jonker is going to be much of a threat to anyone soon, let alone Elliot Hancock. Ronnie Jonker is on a charge. Their split time shows they have upped their pace. And we're back, where the drivers are showing us some incredible skills.
Indeed, Lucy, it's always exciting to see these skilled drivers operating such fantastic machines on amazing tracks.
The delta between Ronnie Jonker in 8th and Elliot Hancock remains over a second, but Ronnie Jonker is not letting up. They're pushing hard and looking for any opportunity to close that gap. There's 8 minutes left in this session to make that happen.
It's moments like these that make motorsports so exciting. We're witnessing a battle of skill and strategy between two great drivers, with Ronnie Jonker in 8th determined to catch up. But we know Elliot Hancock isn't just going to hand it to them on a plate, Ronnie Jonker is going to have to take it. It should be an interesting battle to watch as long as they can close that gap.
It's all about consistency for Elliot Hancock, who is currently 7th.
Definitely Lucy, but they can't afford to get complacent. They have to keep pushing hard to stay in the game.
This is where the skill and experience of the drivers really come into play. Ronnie Jonker will need to stay focused and keep pushing, even when the gap seems insurmountable. It's not over until the checkered flag drops. It doesn't seem like things are going to plan for Dennis Byrne as they have a big gap ahead of them to close at this point in time. The gap between Elliot Hancock and Ronnie Jonker is pretty substantial right now. It's probably going to take a mistake from Elliot Hancock to even allow Ronnie Jonker to get a look in. Ronnie Jonker has just put in a faster lap than Elliot Hancock, so that's going to give them something to worry about. A solid performance from WJ Weaponer, who is holding down 5th. He's pulling away. WJ Weaponer is increasing the gap to Peter Geldenhuys.
Yes, it's clear that WJ Weaponer is in control out there. They're making it very difficult for Peter Geldenhuys to catch up.
Things don't seem to be going Ronnie Jonker's way in this race. as that's a big gap they'll have to close to even be in with a shout for gaining a place here. The gap between Ronnie Jonker and Elliot Hancock is getting smaller.
He'll be looking for a mistake to pounce on.
You know, John, as a former racing driver yourself, can you give us some insights into what goes through a driver's mind during these quieter moments in a race?
Sure, Lucy. During these moments, drivers often take the opportunity to assess their race strategy, monitor their car's performance, and plan their next move. It's all about staying focused and finding the right time to strike.
It's a battle of wills out there, with Sean Olivier trying to outsmart and outmaneuver Oradil Motswagozel. The gap is slowly closing, but time is running out. Situations like these often lead to a dramatic finish.
It's a nail-biting race for sure, with both drivers showing incredible skill and determination. But Oradil Motswagozel is not going to give up the position easily. This is going to be a battle to the very end, with Sean Olivier and P2 doing everything they can to catch up.
It's a classic case of chasing down the car ahead for Ronnie Jonker, who is currently in P8. But Elliot Hancock is not making it easy, and the gap remains over a second. This will require some expert driving from Ronnie Jonker. You can feel the tension in the air.
The drivers are all focused, putting everything on the line for a chance at victory, pushing themselves and their machines to the limit.
And let's not forget about the incredible machines themselves.
Absolutely. It's amazing to think about the kind of engineering and innovation that goes into making these vehicles. But it all comes down to the drivers, who have to be able to handle the power and speed. It's going to be thrilling seeing how this race turns out.
It looks like Ronnie Jonker is pushing hard to catch up to Elliot Hancock. That's not a small gap, but Ronnie Jonker has what it takes to challenge for the position. Peach Jones has a mountain to climb at the moment to close that gap with Reese Simon. I expect their only hope at this point is that Reese Simon makes an error. Well, it doesn't look like Ronnie Jonker is going to be much of a threat to anyone soon, let alone Elliot Hancock.
It's not over till the checkered flag drops, though, and it's important they don't lose concentration at this point.
It's game on now. Ronnie Jonker has closed the gap to Elliot Hancock. It's now down to 1.0 seconds. A strong showing from Reese Simon, who is currently ninth. A commanding performance from Reese Simon, who has increased their lead over Peach Jones, putting them firmly in their rear-view mirrors. The tension is building as Ronnie Jonker trails behind Elliot Hancock. The gap is slowly but surely decreasing, and the pressure is mounting. Elliot Hancock is pushing to maintain the lead, while Ronnie Jonker is working to close in and challenge for the position.
That's right, Ronnie Jonker in 8th knows they have to push to the limit if they want to catch up. But Elliot Hancock is no slouch, and they're going to be pushing just as hard. It's a battle of skill and will out there.
The race is heating up as Dennis Byrne in 12th closes in on Foxy Cute. The gap is just over a second, and I'm sure they are going to do everything possible to try and close the distance. They're not giving up without a fight. This is what racing is all about. Two fierce competitors pushing each other to the limit.
If Ronnie Jonker pushes too hard, they might find themselves exploring the scenic route, and nobody's got time for sightseeing during a race.
The intensity is off the charts as Elliot Hancock hounds Ronnie Jonker, both drivers pushing themselves to the absolute limit. And Elliot Hancock has just won the place from Ronnie Jonker.
Absolutely, Lucy, but there's still a long way to go in this race, and Elliot Hancock can't afford to get complacent. They have to keep driving with intensity and focus.
Ronnie Jonker wants to get into Elliot Hancock's slipstream.
Rubbing is racing, but let's just hope they don't rub it too hard.
As the race settles down, the drivers are really going at it.
It's like watching a high-speed game of chess. One wrong move and it could be game over. But these drivers are masters of their craft, always thinking 3 steps ahead.
That's right. And with the way they're maneuvering those cars, it's like they have superpowers.
It's almost like they have the power of flight. But instead of flying, they're speeding down the track like rockets.
I wonder if they have any spare rocket boosters for sale. Wow, Oradil Motswagozel is really pushing hard in these final moments of the race.
They'll be the ones celebrating at the finish line.
The leader has done it. What an incredible performance from Oradil Motswagozel, who was simply untouchable today. This is a race that will go down in the history books. What a drive from Sean Olivier, securing a great second-place finish.
Brilliant. Sean Olivier showed great skill and determination to take second place.
Well done to Joni Geldenhuys for securing third place on the podium. Followed by Peach Jones in 10th. Drian Griesel brings home 4th. 11th sees Foxy Cute. With W.J. Weepener in 5th. Peter Geldenhuys end in 6th. Taking 12th is Dennis Byrne. Finishing 7th is Elliot Hancock. Ronnie Jonker take 8th. Ninth is Reese Simon.